Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to the Shake Up. And that's all I got with that. But what's up, everybody? It's gonna be me today, and I think
Hey everyone, welcome to the Shake Up.
what the fuck do I gotta open up?
And that's all I got with that. What's up, everybody?
Sorry about that. I didn't realize I had a screen open in background. So it's gonna be me today, and I think Parsons gonna join us today. I think today we're gonna do Woodbine, Gulfstream, and a little bit of Aqueduct. Uh, but that's the plan for today. Hey, what's up, Michael? LT Gator or JT Gator? So, anyways, yesterday ended up being a pretty non-eventful day. I ended up winning, or not winning, losing just a little bit of money. Uh, I think it was like 40, $50 for the entire day. Luckily, we hit that 7-1 at Arlington. That kind of, you know, at least we hit something other than that crappy double that we overpaid for. That was basically a push, but I reviewed we only did 5 plays yesterday, so I'm not even all that worked up and barely lost anything. But going through the charts and every day, that call on that thinking there might be a good rail yesterday was super aggressive. I guess I kind of did it because of the first race, that one horse running so well. But he was a first time starter at 30-1. I think I was just being overly aggressive with that. The good thing about yesterday, I thought, is we kind of worked through it. And by the end of the card, we thought it was, I admitted I was wrong about the Golden Rail, which wasn't there. We started looking for middle of the track, stalkers kind of thing. And then, we kind of righted the ship. I didn't hit anything. They got kind of chalky. And then the last race, I had a mispunch ticket that was alive to a crappy double. But I kind of said I kind of hoped that whoever wins that race, whether I had it or not, that I was going to see that 3-wide move stalking trip. And the 4 ended up winning at 5-1, and he did exactly that. So I feel like I got my head back. By the way, I looked at the bias reports. Like I said, I'm going to try to put out some videos. I just assumed, you know how sometimes when you look at so much racing stuff, you just assume everyone knows what to do that you do? And then after I put it out, I realized that there's more questions than I thought there was going to be. So I am going to try to put out some videos. That's the plan for this weekend or early this week. So I'm not going to leave you guys hanging on that one. I'm answering all the questions in email. Basically, everyone for getting the updates from me, you're good all the way through the 6th of next month, the 6th of October. This was basically the first week we did it. I'm going to do the updates all the way to the 6th of October. So every Tuesday is usually when I get done with everything. So I plan on sending the updates on Tuesdays. So expect one for, the next 4 weeks up until October 6th. After October 6th, if you guys want to keep, if you want to keep with it, then it's another pay. But I wanted to put that out there. I know that was one of someone had that question yesterday. The other thing about that bias report, part of the reason why that call was so aggressive, I know there's a few people in here that already bought it, and I can see them in the chat room right now. Just take a look at the 6 furlong sprints all the way from October. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. All the way from August 2nd to yesterday, or to the last day I updated it. there's one thing that I kept listing the track consistently. And that's one of the ways you use this sheet to kind of guess, what the track might play. It's been consistently. There's one comment that I have after every day that's been freaking consistent, and that's how the track ran yesterday. And it made me even think that call yesterday was even more foolish, and I was just aggressive off of base. Well, I did it off of that first race, but then I did it off of that, I think it was the second or third race where that 4 on the rail. He stalked, he dueled on the rail. If you guys remember, the 4 and the 5, the 5 had the lead. The 4 took the lead on the rail. Both of those horses looked hooked by the 1 who angled off the rail. He angled wide and he closed. And at the top of the stretch, it looked like he was going to win easily, and he just flattened out. I guess I used those 2 races to think that the rail was propelling horses, and it was honestly a bad call. But, I'm going to make calls like that. Yeah, luckily, yesterday was chalky. So we weren't doing a lot of plays. We only took 5. I only took 5 shots, and most of them were small shots. And then the other thing it's a little harder because yesterday the highest odds horses were 3-1 winning at Gulfstream. So it's sometimes during the battle it's a little bit harder for me to make the adjustments on the bias. If they were longer shots that were making that same move, maybe I would have made that adjustment sooner. I'm just kind of proud that I did at the end and was able to acknowledge that I looked at a track wrong. I want to, give you guys an insight of what I'm thinking about a track, why I'm coming up with the conclusions, and, sometimes I make glory calls, sometimes it's not a good call at all. Yesterday was a bad call. But anyways, let's get started. So I'm not so sure about Gulfstream today. I was really hoping we'd get on the turf. So we're off the turf again today. And it was really muddy this morning. The track's drying out. I have no idea what the track looks like. I know it drains pretty fast. But we might have that silly drying out track that makes it a little confusing for me sometimes. Hey, what's up, Boulder, Stephen Marshall, Brian Reed, Louise, Rob Glass. What's up, guys? Judge Joe Brown, Joe C. Yep, off the turf all day at Gulfstream. And let me close this door because it keeps blowing here. And then yesterday I hung up and I went on Skype with Parsons. I sat out, but Parsons and I think someone else in the who's usually in the chat emailed me last night. They both hit the same perfecta at Kentucky Downs and ended up having a good day yesterday. But I sat out and just cheered Parsons' ticket. So Parsons ended up having a good day. I was down a little bit. It seemed like the chat room. I know Marco Lou and Larry hit a nice exacta late in the day. But other than that, I don't think it was too active yesterday. So Gulfstream right now, because I'm not sure what the track's going to look like. We got a lot of races off the turf. Still looks like we got we still got a decent sized field in this first race. I'm probably going to be on the lower side of my bets earlier in the day. I want to try to see how this track's playing, even though I think we got a grasp on it late in the day yesterday. And by the way, good call on. I know Marco Lou and a few other guys made that call and adjustment a lot sooner than I did, thinking I was wrong about that rail. I know a few guys made a good call in the chat room and was trying to help me out there. But you know, with the rain and with the more rain and everything, I'm hoping that the track. Look, we just want to play the track. We just want the track to play one way or another. I'm hoping it plays like it did yesterday, just to give us a head start. But you know, as a biased player, you want the track to hopefully play a certain way and not just be. I don't want a fair track. So we're hoping to find a bias, but those hearts look sexy on the 3, yeah. Okay, let's get started on this. So the first race, we got a maiden special weight. This is going to end up being a mile on the turf. It is a mile, not 7 furlongs, right? Because sometimes when they scratch, it will be run on them. Yeah. I don't know when, sometimes, oh, it's when they do a 7.5 furlong race. That's what I'm thinking of. When the Gulfstream does a 7.5 furlong turf race and they scratch it, it becomes a 7 furlong on the dirt. Everything else becomes you know, the mile or whatever they run on the dirt. Okay. All right. So maiden special weight on the turf. This one horse, stalking closing day last race. This horse tried to go wire-to-wire dueling for the first 2 call, or at least the first call, but was pretty close. I'm going to say he deserved an asterisk for possibly running against the bias there. He went fast for the first call, match strides with the fastest winner, average at the second call, 1 tick slower than the fastest winner at the 6 furlong mark. So I like that race. Two races ago, the timer malfunctioned. We don't have that. 3 races ago, at 5 furlongs on the sprint, he was slow. Match strides with the slowest winner, slow. But we're still trying to decide if this is a sprint horse or a route horse on the turf at Gulfstream. There's very few horses that can switch to a mile on the turf and a turf sprint, but this horse hasn't won anywhere. So I'm not sure what he is. He does have speed when he's going 5 furlongs. I like that race, but yesterday they were kind of stalking, and we were looking at 3 wide moves. So wait a minute, what? Oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I thought I had 6 minutes. I did. Thanks, Premiere. I didn't realize that my video froze up, guys. I did not realize that. Yeah, I'm going to have to go faster, and I might not be able to get into it. But I'm sorry. That's my fault. Oh, this 2 horse. Match strides with the slowest winner, slow average, stalking trip right there. I honestly don't think that race was as bad as I got it marked. He was in position at the top of the stretch. That's what I kind of think contenders should do. 2 races ago on an early stalker day, he stalked. He was slow. It just looks like he keeps chasing a slow pace each day and being at a little bit of a disadvantage. So he's a horse. Usually I don't like these marks, but I'm giving an excuse for it because I think the running lines deserve an excuse. I don't think they're as bad as I got them rated. This 3, we are sucker for these hearts. This is a horse that went too fast to win. It's kind of what I consider my best mark. 18 to 1. I doubt it if I'm going to be able to put a lot of thought into this race. I want to get my board up over here. At 18-1, they're almost forcing me to bet a triple hard horse. Let me get set up. 7, Bad Rail last race. This horse ran against Bias last race. He had the inside. He was average, so I think that's a decent race. Right now, this just looks like a competitive field where you could go a lot of ways. 6 horse, he looks like he needs the track to be backing up. He hasn't really got in position at the top of the stretch. They did put him against winners in a $100,000 stake / race. He ran against the Bias that day, average. He's a little sneaky. The 8, average, slow. He earned 2 hearts, 3 races back. He went too fast to win, earned a terrible speed figure, but improved off of that. And 7 is a 14 is a main track. I didn't get to see the odds here. I'm sorry, I didn't. This race just snuck up on me. I think I would have been interested in this race. I'm not going to be able to do anything here. Let's see, Elliott's calling out the 1-2, or he's pointing out that the 1-2, 5-14 are the only horses with dirt form. Frankie Tubbs snuck in here. Hey, what's up, Ryan? What's up, Elliott? And you know, already we can see moisture on this track. So usually when I see moisture on the track at Gulfstream, it tends to keep favoring speed. The problem is when it really starts drying out is when sometimes we struggle on the drying out days. I don't even remember who the 5 was. The 3 was the heart horse. $14 was the main track only horse. I don't see him anywhere. I don't recall what the 2 looks like in paper, but right now, as long as he keeps this horse together, well, this horse on the inside is really coming. Wow, is he coming? Okay, that's going to end up being the 14 horse, the main track only horse. Elliott gave some good information out of the 4 horses that he said are the horses with form, with dirt form. It was the exact, I'm not sure who got third. I think maybe it was the 6 that got third. I want to see who the 2 was again. Okay, two was the horse that I said was sneakier, and I did not think he was as bad as what I had him marked. So him winning, not winning, so him running well is kind of not that big of a surprise. Overall, we know that the post 1 through 3 does have advantage in the route races. 14 came from farther off the lead. He ran against a bad rail last race, so he Oh, I wanted to point out during the show some of the things that the people that bought the bias report should be looking at. Uh, Part of the way I judge the biases on those bias reports, I said I recommend you looking up the races, putting the excuses next to the speed figures or somewhere on the line, or maybe even how I do it. Uh, so every time you see an asterisk, the way I do it, I'm using that exact same bias report to come up with my asterisk horses. For the most part, when you see an asterisk, judging the bias, we want to see improvement in the next race. Uh, I do a simple little judge. You guys know I don't like speed figures, but I do like when the next race the speed figures go up. That makes me think that I did a good job with the bias that day. Obviously, we like horses to come back and win off of a bias, but sometimes you got like maybe the rail might not have been great today and the one might not have had a chance, or you got quite a few horses in there that ran against the bias, and you got to, be creative in who you go with. Right, like this race, we had the one horse that ran against the bias, but kind of yesterday we thought the rail was kind of bad, and we thought that they were coming off the pace. We had the this is a 5 horse that ran on a bad rail last time. We won't know till next race if his speed figure, improved or something. He definitely didn't win. He took money, and he only finished 4th at 2-1. But he was another speed horse. The 6 ran against the bias last race. I don't know if his speed number is gonna. So you want to kind of look to see if they improve. This race is probably a bad example. You'll need next race to see if their speed figure actually improved. But he came back and ran a 3rd. And then the other horse, the 14 ran against the bias. He actually came back to win. But for the most part, you want to see improvement. I like it when like this one. This is last race. This is 2 races back. This is 3 races ago, if you guys don't know. But 2 races ago, this horse I think ran against the bias. He finished 4/13. He comes back next race. He runs the exact same speed figure, which I'm going to say is good in this circumstance. Because I thought the rail was bad. Oh, no, I thought he was on a bad rail. You want him to run the same speed figure, or a lot of times get even better. You don't want to see him coming up and going worse after I thought there was a bias. Unless there was another bias going with it. But I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna still go over some and do some videos with it. Oh, Frankie Tubbs, I missed it. You had that exacta. Nice hit there. I think that was a pretty solid exacta, wasn't it? I think you got 3-1 in a. I think that was a solid start. I think that was a solid start right there. Man, I really. Dude, I said I didn't want to complain about this wagering platform, but the more I've been playing on it, I swear I don't like it. I don't think it's an improvement. There was a big class drop on that six. Yeah, there was a big class. The six was the horse we brought up that was kind of sneaky. He ran against the bias last race, average, average, average. He was the one that went against winners. Uh, it was definitely a big class drop from that race. I can't argue with that. But he's still a maiden special weight trying to find his spot. Uh, I think he was kind of sneaky. Because I almost overlooked him too. I think I would have liked to spend some time with that race. I really did because I think we were looking for. I think I said in my mind I was going to start out today with the outside stalker closers. We know that 14 looked pretty good uh, at the main track only. And I already spotted that the two was kind of a sneaky. I'm still trying to figure out. I'm kind of distracted because I'm trying to figure out how much that damn exacta paid. Results. Okay, I guess it just came up. 19 dollars for a dollar. Yeah, that would have been a pretty decent start. It wouldn't have been huge because if I would have went 14, I would have probably used at least three horses under them. Uh, and I'm not sure if I would have had 14 as my only horse on top, but the track did kind of play to that. I think technically he stalked. I would have liked to got the fractions that race. And like I said, during a race, when I usually see a wet track, I'm thinking speed. But yesterday is sitting so much in my mind. Yesterday, not a single horse went wire to wire uh, on the dirt at Gulfstream. Top four finishers were all dropping in class. Hey, hey, Elliot, I see what your comment about all of those horses dropping in class. So I'm going to take it that you look at the price of a maiden special weight. Uh, I kind of look at it maiden. I don't look at the tags for maiden special weight. But I know some guys do. When you're at a circuit, so obviously, if I see a maiden special weight horse from say Thistle Downs coming to Gulfstream, I don't look at those as being equal, right? But when horses stay at a circuit, you know that I'm not a big class guy. I use class a little bit. Sometimes I use it on more shows than others. Like yesterday, we didn't talk about class at all. Uh, At Gulfstream, when all the horses are at a circuit, I kind of look at if it was made in special weight 50,000 or 45,000, or I don't even, I honestly don't even know all the different numbers that they run class at Gulfstream. But to me, when you're a maiden special weight horse at Gulfstream, I just considered you maiden special weight. But you look at that a little bit different. You look at it, you look at the tag, and you would say that a 50,000 is better than a 40,000 maiden special weight. And I'm not even sure, because I'm not a big class guy. Like, I'm not even sure which is the better way to look at it, to be honest. But I'm just judging by your comment that you do that. Oh, you're actually using BetMix. Okay, so this isn't even yours. They give. Oh, I almost killed the power here. Because I'm almost like looking at this and I see the one horse ran at maiden special weight 47, the two ran at 45, the three at 50. I'm even wondering how big of a difference that matrix, is it BetMix designate the class. I kind of find that interesting, to be honest. Because I would look at this class, and to me, everyone's basically a maiden special weight horse. But, like I said, I can't say if there's a better way of looking at it or not. All right, we got the second race. Right now I'm going to look at this race. Well, this is going to be a 2-year-old race. There's going to be a lot of first timers. I know I've been getting quite a few new people. If you're watching this for the first time or you haven't heard it before, I only mark up my stuff the night before, morning of. I don't look at the horses trying to find winners before the show. This is how I've always operated. I believe in making adjustments, so I don't like having predetermined winners. I think that's the wrong way to go about horses. I let odds dictate my moves, and what I'm seeing going on at the track. Betrick gave the 6 a 6.8 class drop. I don't even know if I've ever even heard of BetMix. I don't think I've ever heard of BetMix. Marco Lewis single to double here. To the 5. Good luck. So anyways, I was saying I don't have predetermined notions. The other big thing that I don't do is first-time starters. So when I get a field with too many first-time starters, I'm either willing to, I ignore them. So I either love the bet that I'm making, but I gotta, accept it every time I get beat by a first-timer. I'm a running line bias handicapper, and I just don't believe in any of the things that put you on first-timers. I've never in all these years really developed a winning formula. I'm not saying there's not guys that are really good with first-timers. I'm not one of them. Yeah, I bet BetMix is kind of new, because I don't even think I've heard of BetMix. They must be a newer information platform. Hey, what's up, Maxell? So anyways, this is a maiden claiming 32,007 furlongs on the dirt. Like I said yesterday, the track was playing a certain way. Uh, made made a late adjustment and noticed it, but other than that, yesterday was kind of on the chalky side. I'm going to proceed with caution early today. This one horse, he only ran one race before. He was slow, slow, slow. Just like I don't do nothing with first timers. Horses that only ran one race, usually you can't read too much into what a horse is the first time he raced. If they run bad, usually they improve the second or third race out. A lot of times, if they run too good, they're subject for a bounce. So, this is why this is probably not going to be a race that I'm all that interested in. The two's a first time starter. I already explained that they're just not part of my game. Uh, Three, ran one race last race, slow, slow, slow. Has the exact same excuse as all of horses that ran one race that I just went over. It said he hesitated at the start. Right now it looks like he doesn't have speed, but maybe without that in the second time out he has speed. There's no way to tell, but there's nothing there to make me want to get behind him. The full horse, first time starter, again, same thing. I guess I'm going to be rooting for the 5 because Marco was the first guy that said he had something going to the 5 here. 5 looks like he kind of fits to what the track was doing yesterday. And I know Marco was trying to tell me to make that adjustment earlier than I did. And I know Marco made a really nice call in the last race yesterday. So I got a feeling this might be what he's thinking again today, play the track how it played yesterday. So last race, he had a bad rail. He was in the 4 hole, so he's a little tricky. I don't watch replays, so, the 4 hole is enough where you can be on that. When I say bad rail, I mean bad inside. I don't necessarily always mean at the rail. Sometimes it's just a rail, but I pretty much mean bad inside. So the 4 hole is just on the outside of the inside. If he stayed 4 wide, he doesn't have an excuse. If he went to the inside, he might have a legitimate excuse, but I don't watch replays, and this isn't a race that I care enough about. 2 races back, he had a bad rail problem with the 4 hole again. The only thing on that race, it said he was actually 4 or 5 wide. So I'm not giving him credit for running against the bad rail. I honestly don't think that was that bad of a race. Gulfstream usually favors on the dirt horses with early speed or horses that are a little bit closer than the pace than a 4.5 and 5 lengths behind at the first 2 calls. It looked like he was probably second best that race. And his speed figures might be some of the best in the field today, but I don't like speed figure. 3 races ago, I got him as slow, slow. But again, that's early in his career, so he looks like if the track's running how it ran yesterday, he could benefit from it. The 6 pretty much looks like the same horse as he does. Bad rail last race, but he was on the outside. That didn't affect him. He was average. He came from a little too far out of it to win. He was a closer. He was 7 lengths behind at the first call. 2 races ago, I think he had a legit excuse. Bad rail that day, slow, slow. And 3 races ago, I got the inside of the track being good, and he didn't really take advantage of it. I don't like it when I think a horse ran with the bias, but let's face it, he was 51-1, and maybe even if there was a bias, it probably wasn't enough to help him. He was also coming off of a bit of a layoff from late May to July, so I don't think he looks much. I honestly don't think that the 5 and 6 looks much different. Oh, and you know what? The odds are saying the same thing that I just said. They don't look that much different. 7's out and 8's a first timer. So, but I will have no play here. Josie, you know what? When I used to do my notes, I used to designate if a track was sloppy. But as I started to do it, okay, so I've been taking notes for roughly probably a solid 25 years. And in the beginning, I used to think that was important, uh, to try to designate if the track was sloppy. But then as I kept playing, I realized that that wasn't the only thing. Fast track horses or tracks that look dry, but I know that it rained heavy the day before. You know, they should be labeled drying out. And it started getting too crazy, and I just came up with the overall philosophy that all the horses are running on the same track. I don't really need to be a weather reporter or that. I just want to know what kind of horses were winning. So I kind of developed that philosophy. When I was keeping track of sloppy and trying to keep a separate profile for sloppy, for the most part, sloppy tracks don't run the same. Uh, so to me, it was just once I started really learning that every time a track was wet, there seemed to be no rhyme or reason. One time it's a swamp and speed's holding. One time it's a swamp and the rail's good. The next day it's a swamp and the outside is good. The next day it's a swamp and I actually found no rhyme or reason to it. So I just left the designation. Uh, it's kind of just my years of doing this. If someone wanted to start, if I encourage people to do their own notes and do their own thing. I wouldn't discourage it, but I think the longer you do it, if that's what you're doing, that you would probably come to the same conclusion that I would. It's just better to keep track of what's winning that day, the times that day, and take it from there, just like every other day. And maybe in the back of the head, you might know that you struggle. Like I know I struggle on a drying out track. So that's kind of how I came up with that philosophy. It just worked for me overall. Yeah, Steve B is saying it sounds like they kill him. I think he's talking about on these wet days. So he play lightly on these days. And that's what I kind of do on a drying out track. You want to play lighter on when you're questionable about a track, you want to play lighter. Uh, you got to do things in this game to protect yourself if you're going to survive day in and day out. Oh, thanks, Max. I always expect you to be. I know you're one of my. You supported me at the beginning, man, and I know you liked videos that I liked playing with you. When we were in Discord, when you were a lot more. When you were. I think you were less busy, but I am. I'm doing those bias reports, so my biggest problem right now is I'm having a hard time writing and planning out a video. Uh, so I've been trying to do the videos freestyle, just like a live stream, and it's really hard to cover a subject like that. I'm gonna try to get in the lab and this weekend and early next week really put it together. I don't know if I'm just gonna have to do a whole bunch of little minute clips and edited them all together. But I really want to do a big theory video on biases, what we're trying to do, betting, stuff to help go with the bias reports, and stuff just to help handicappers. Yeah, I seen your comment. I meant to comment. How did you do Derby Day? Derby Day was a huge. I ended up having a Rolex week last week. Derby Day was a big part of it because of that outside bias. But I did not cash. I did not cash on the Derby. In fact, the Derby was nothing but a token bet for me. Yeah, dude, I get rambling and I lose my track. 'Hey, what's up, Ryan? Oh, we got two Ryans in here now, I guess. 23-3. What was this? Was this a? That seems slow. I thought this was a sprint race. I thought this was 2 year olds. Oh, it is 7 furlongs. I think we want this 5 to finish this out because I think Marco Lou is and I don't want to curse him. Oh, I think I might have. Come on, 5. Come on, 5, because I'm going to feel like I cursed you out. Sorry, Marco Lou. I was really rooting for your horse there. I thought there wasn't much difference between the 5 and the 6, but this looks like how the track was playing yesterday. It's a little early, and those were 2-year-olds to base it off of, but this looks like this is playing how the track played yesterday. Hey, Parsons, if you want to jump in, I can try to take your call. Or if you want to wait, you can do it whenever you got free time if you want to. Yesterday we had Parsons on remote. And if he did, I think when he lost his internet, it crashed the show. I'm willing to give it another try because in the future, I mentioned I'd like to, if some of you guys are interested in coming on and hanging out and just putting a face to the name and maybe handicapping a race or two, I think that would be pretty cool. But right now we're testing everything out. Elliot Blatt is on a mini moon. Premier had that 10 times. Not okay. So the chat room is starting off with some shit today. This already feels better than yesterday. This already feels we got a better start than yesterday. Man, I didn't realize how many of you guys were jumping in on that 2-year-old race. You guys are braver than me. Even though I thought the 5 and the 6, there wasn't any different, and that's probably the only place I could have went to. but I didn't have the guts. Hey Max, I know you said you were everything was clicking for you for I don't know, a few weeks or a month. I think you said, and you were on a pretty good heater. Is that everything you touched that's been turning to gold, or have you been having success at one track, one circuit, or you just been handicapping out of your mind for a bit of time? Oh, nice. Parsons had that for $10. Looks like a lot of you guys had that for $10. It looks like Max had a $10 saver. Ryan looks like I think he hit the win ticket because it sounds like he'll take 9-2. Oh, you're handicapping out of your mind everywhere. Oh, okay, but a little bit better at a Delmar. But for the most part, you've been seeing the ball pretty good. Well, good, man. Come in here to brag, man. I was hoping to hear a lot more people brag about Derby weekend. I was hoping someone would take down one of those huge pick fours or something, or pick fives, and would hear about it. Bender, I'm agreeing with you. I don't know if you stayed for the whole show yesterday. I'm pretty sure I seen you. Yeah, you were in early yesterday when I was made that bad call. We kind of adjusted off of that call by the middle into the show. I was saying it was three wide stalkers. I couldn't take advantage of it myself, but I think that's the call for today so far. I'm kind of agreeing. Speed was definitely dead yesterday. Not a single horse went wire to wire. By the way, it'll be marked on that bias report. Horses that have the lead yesterday or was dueling on the lead, especially if they had solid fractions, will probably be a good look next time they race. Oh, you had a friend do a $500 exacta box that came home. Woo! I have never. I want to say the biggest exacta that I ever played was probably an $80 ticket. That is way out of my. You know how I say that every gambler needs to find his comfort level. I believe that gamblers handicappers, I'm going to say handicappers, not gamblers. I believe that there are handicappers, and I'm one of them, that can operate at a certain level, a certain amount, right? And they can do quite well. And this is one of my big beefs about, it's not a beef, but this is one of my big problems with sports bettors. Because I think their edges are narrower than ours could be. But a handicapper has to know where he's comfortable and can operate. And then they got to know where their threshold when their mind just does not work. And me betting a $500 exacta, that's a no-go for me. My decisions, I could not operate under that. And there's guys that can. And I'm going to take this, I'm not bashing sports bettors because I think sports bettors are the same type of people we are. I think they're handicappers. I know a lot of horse players are sports bettors too. I don't like sports betting, but I think poker players, sports bettors, and handicappers, horse racing handicappers, are the same type of people. I think they're guys that want to believe they have an edge or can find an edge and can believe that they can outplay the other people. That to me, it's a certain mindset, right? And I know a lot of sports handicapper, and I know some good ones. And the big problem with sports handicapping is your edge is so small. The best handicappers probably only operate with about a 5% ROI. You know, it's very low. So I always point out guys, because when I talk to sports handicappers, they're always like, man, I've been having great seasons for the last 5 years. And I'll be like, hey, how much are you betting? And they say, man, I've been winning for the last 5 years. I've been averaging 4% ROI every year. But I'm a $100 player a game. I'm a $200 player a game. And it's very hard to make a substantial bank because the seasons are so short. You know, you're not usually an expert at basketball, hockey, soccer, you know, all of them. So, you know, one guy would say, hey, I beat hockey, or another guy would say he beats basketball. And I believe him. I mean, I know guys lie, but you don't got to lie to me. So these are guys that I actually believe that I know do work, right? And they always say, hey, if only I can, you know, get my bankroll to a place where I could bet $2,000 a game, I can make an income. I don't have to work anymore. But because they're counting on that 4% return. And I always smile and in the back of my head say, I don't think you understand. I'm giving it to you that I believe that you're operating pretty good at that, but you don't know, and I don't know, and no one knows until you do it, if you could operate at that same level doing 10 times your bets, you know. So I think it's very important that a guy has to know his threshold. Oh, Premier, you're a good poker player. I think Louis Grossman, who comes in the chat room, is a pretty good poker player. Uh, I know a few poker players. I tried to play poker. I used to do good when it was the home games before the big poker booms. Before this is in the early '90s. I used to dominate. So back